Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Here we are for the Wednesday time. Oh boy. And it's a doozy. We got a ton of questions, and we better get to them, I guess.
Yes, these questions come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Boy, we're coming out of the gate strong on this one, by the way. This one's a tough one. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. This is a question from Liam B. I understand this is an inappropriate question, but as a student of literature, I think this makes an immeasurable amount of difference in reading one's work. Do you believe in God? I know this is personal and seemingly a non sequitur with the comics, but I believe it's vital to know about a writer because it informs and shapes practically everything about the writer's underlying interpretation of death. Well, I think they certainly affect one another, but they determine whether one views death as absolutely final or not, which certainly alters how one views life and death.
So we're starting spicy this time, aren't we?
Yeah. That's what I said.
All right, so this is a sensitive topic for most people on the planet.
Yeah.
So let's take our time and unpack this bit by bit. So point number one, I don't believe that the belief in a God is inexorably linked to a belief in the afterlife.
No.
Or what happens with death. We've been debating on whether or not there is a God or some form of higher being since we've been able to conceptualize it as a species. But there's no debating about death. It's going to happen. That's like the absolute. I think we can all agree death is a thing. So whether you believe in the Abrahamic system or if you're something more akin to Buddhism or Hinduism, there are a number of alternatives to what happens to us afterwards that doesn't necessarily hinge on whether or not Yahweh is there. Personally speaking, I do not prescribe to the idea as it has been presented thus far. I'm not going to wholesale say it can't exist, but I don't think anyone's gotten it right so far. From my cursory understanding of human history and theology, it doesn't add up for me. And I freely admit, I could be very wrong. I could be very surprised here in the future, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That said,
literally or spiritually.
I have friends who are Christian and Jewish and Muslim and Sikh and Hindu, and I haven't seen Jimmy in decades, but he's Buddhist, so I'm going to count him anyway. They all believe to some degree or another, and I don't begrudge them that. It gives them strength. It gives them comfort. It helps motivate them to be better people. It's part of their lives in a good way. And so, their faith is fine. I am happy for them. I'm happy that they have that in their lives. So there's that. Now, as for death itself, welcome to the BumbleKast. The way I've rationalized it for myself, I see it as hashing out one of two ways. Number one revolves around the idea that nature hates waste. You look at the water cycle, the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle, the way the Earth's crust is folded down back into the mantle and is erupted back out to create new Earth. That energy and matter cannot be destroyed, just merely converted into other states of being. You don't lose anything in nature. Even in like the heat death of the universe, nothing is gone. It's just spread out so much that it is, as far as we would be concerned, null and void.
Yeah.
But the material is still there. So when you look at us, and I mean the soul, a lot of time and energy goes into cultivating that. A lot of resources, a lot of actual energy, a lot of interactions, tons of time. So it seems really weird to me that it would just go away, evaporate, go into the ether. Like, so much goes into making us. It just seems weird that would just go away. Now, I don't know where it would go. Does it change form? Does it enter a new dimensional level? Do we get eaten by ghosts? I don't know. And there's something both terrifying but also exhilarating about having that question linger. And it's going to be answered eventually. So part of me kind of wants the spoilers. I want to know what happens next. But I'm also kind of content to have what I have right now because I don't know what's coming next. And I don't like to gamble. So in that regard, it's comforting to think that whoever we are, whatever makes us us, should endure in some fashion because nature has taught us that it does that. It may change form, it may be different, but it doesn't make a lot of sense in that model that it would go away.
Yeah.
The other way I look at it is there isn't anything that we as a species have developed in a way that we are over specialized at finding patterns. We see faces in wall plugs and doorknobs. We see rabbits in the clouds. We see holy figures in burnt toast. We find patterns and apply reason and meaning to them, whether it's there or not. And it has made us one of the most powerful species on the planet. It's done a great deal of good for us, and it hasn't undermined us yet. But it could just be that all those fatty neurons firing around in the gray matter are just a really, really, really advanced version of the AI chatbots that we're building today. That the interactions we have, what we're doing right now on the BumbleKast, is a bunch of action-reaction that you are listening to and processing and making enough sense in your own head. And when it's done, it's done. All the meat, all the bioelectronic whatever's going around in the brain, it all decomposes, goes back to the earth, and then we are gone into nothing. And that I find incredibly, wonderfully releasing. Because there's no judgment.
Yeah.
There's no pain, there's no fear, there's no regret. It's done. That's it. That's all she wrote. You don't have to worry about what's coming next because there's nothing. Because you can't worry. It's it. That's gone. It's all over, and that's the sweet release. The abyss.
There's something kind of freeing about that for sure. But I can definitely see how a lot of people would look at that and be absolutely terrified.
Oh, absolutely. I get that.
Oh yeah.
And to me, it also kind of helps answer the question of what is the meaning of life, and it is whatever you make of it.
Yes.
This is your one shot, and you make your own destiny. You choose whether you are a positive influence that will build the next generation, or if you're going to be a jerk, in which case, screw you, buddy. You wasted your time. And that, too, I feel is extremely liberating.
Mm-hmm.
It's daunting.
Yeah.
To have that much of a burden just dropped on your shoulders, and you're like, well, oh God, I'm wasting every second that I'm not doing something right now. It's like, no, that's just it. Life is just what it is, and you make the most of it, and then you're done.
I guess this is why you and I get along so well, because I'm pretty much with you. I'm pretty much on the same page. Like, just yeah. Like,
and the third option
in terms of waste, like that's it makes complete sense to me.
The third option is I'm a faux intellectual philosopher, and I am completely wrong, and it's something else entirely. But we'll all find out eventually.
It's true. Wow. What has this Sonic the Hedgehog podcast become?
We are a Q&A show, sir. It's just they keep asking about Sonic.
I know. It's just kind of funny that this is the opening question. This feels like it should be the whole episode. But no.
Yeah, now we have how many more questions to get through after this?
Now we got like 20-something more questions to get through, and it's like, well, they're much less deep. They're just about a fast blue hedgehog cartoon animal peoples. Oh boy. It's a very interesting way to start off this show. But hey, let's go ahead and keep on trucking. Why not? This one here's from Metamode. Is Rouge the real leader of Team Dark? She's the most diplomatic of the three and might be the most competent character in the cast. I mean, I kind of figured she was.
Yeah, I don't know if they really have like a distinction of a team leader. I think it's just the three of them trust each other and work well enough together that they just do.
She definitely felt
I mean,
more team leadery in like Heroes.
Yeah, but I think that's more like she provides directive.
Right. Yeah.
Not so much a delegated leader. Not like Sally or even Knuckles during Forces. I just feel like she's like, okay, boys, let's do this thing. And they're like, yeah, all right.
Well, I mean, that's a leader.
I suppose.
In just the very base level terms. Like, yeah. All right. Here's one from Miles the Prower. Mr. Flynn, how would you describe Scourge the Hedgehog, as he's my favorite character? And I'd like to see how would you describe him.
Angry, sad, lost, morally weak.
He's a sad, strange little
like
man.
Me, but I mean, I don't mean to like insult your favorite here, but Scourge is a very broken, very damaged individual who refuses to fix or heal. He is his own worst enemy.
It's like it's in the way that Sonic is unwilling to compromise on his own morals, but in the other direction. Wow, what a concept!
Almost like there's a duality there.
What? Oh, I'm
like one is the dark reflection of the other.
No, how could you say that? How could you say that, Ian? This is a horrible. That's a horrible thing to say about Scourge. You should apologize to Miles the Prower right now.
I'm sorry, Miles the Prower. Kyle's of Spoil Sport.
Okay. It's kind of funny. They're called Miles the Prower, but they say Scourge is their favorite. Here's a question from My Fish Eats Rocks. How did Cream end up cast an what? How did Cream end up cask
of
Amontillado? There we go. I think that might be it. Cask of Amontillado. How did Cream end up Cask of Amontillado in Cryptic Castle during the events of Shadow the Hedgehog 05?
Do I need to explain the reference quick?
Yeah, you do. I'm lost.
It's an Edgar Allan Poe story. You know what? I'm going to double check that to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 99% sure it's Edgar Allan Poe, but if I say that with confidence, it's going to be somebody else.
Being told is hurt to hear. It's like, well, I mean, sorry. I'm very bad at speaking. It's kind of weird.
It's a Edgar Allan Poe short story where Cliff Notes version, a guy feels insulted on a deep personal level by this guy. So he lures him down to the wine cellar for a cask of Amontillado and basically gets the guy drunk and then bricks him up in one of the wine cellar crevices.
Okay.
And the guy wakes up as the wall's being built. And the last of the story is him pleading to be let free and forgiven as he slides the last brick in.
Okay. This is like a thing. This is like referenced in pop culture constantly. Okay.
Yeah. It's super dark. But yeah, and in Shadow's game, when you're in Cryptic Castle, if you choose to go the hero route, you can find her and Cheese hidden behind bricked up walls. I choose to believe that she was just so pure and adorably sweet that the ghosts refused to actually haunt her and bricked her up just to keep her safe from everything else.
Well, I guess that would make some sense. Maybe. All right, we got a question here from Nils. Poker night at the inventory, but this time exclusively with Sonic characters. Which 4 characters would you choose, and what unique item would they bring to the table for the player to win? No limit, so feel free to include characters from any Sonic show or game.
Let's go off the beaten path a little bit and just stick to shows.
See, and here's the thing, though. I feel like you have to have a version of Eggman and Sonic. It feels like kind of like you couldn't have it without them, but at the same time, it feels like it feels kind of limiting because you really only have 2 other slots to play with.
Yeah, but who would be the best to play off each other? So
yeah,
from Adventures of, I'm going to say Wes Weasley.
Okay.
Because really, who's got a better poker face there, buddy? And he would ante up his horrible cigar, and everyone would hate that he anteed up the horrible cigar.
Yeah.
From Set AM, Antoine. Because really, who else is going to have the better reactions?
I really want to see how Antoine would react and interact with some of these other characters. That would be very funny.
Be reading and weeping, for I have the house and she is full.
He has absolutely zero poker face.
And for his, if we're going like pure Sat AM, it's his toupee. He antes up with his toupee because they won't accept him anteing up his honor. No intangibles. There are so many options from Boom, but I think Boom Eggman has to be the pick. I mean, everyone would be great, but he is the greatest of the great.
Okay, if you're going to go, if you got to have an Eggman, I think, he would be the one. Okay.
And this may sound boring, but I'm going to round it out with modern Sonic. Because
I see why, though.
His dry, sarcastic wit in reaction to the other three would just accent the flavor.
Yeah. I do want to see how modern Sonic would interact with Antoine. I know it would be pretty much almost exactly the same as he did in Sat AM. Almost. I don't know, though.
A trifle less juvenile, but he would not give Ant any slack.
Oh, no, of course not. Absolutely not. What is Boom Eggman ante up with?
Oh, right. The recipe for evil cookies.
Okay.
Or a can of evil ham.
Oh no. What about his card collection or toy collection? What was that episode with him and Amy who got really into collecting?
Oh, I don't remember.
I forget what they were collecting. I think it was a puppy collection. Fuzzy puppies. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
That might be fun. That might be fun.
I only said the canned ham because Mike Pollock will show up at shows with a can of ham that he declares is the evil ham. So
delicious evil ham. There you go.
How can I argue with the man himself?
And what a Sonic bet.
Sonic bets a ring and they are all pissed off. You have like 1 million of those. It's worthless.
Those are just floating around everywhere all the time. Could go outside and get one right now. I figured we'd bet an emerald. That might be more something. I don't know. I do want to see this, though. Come on, Sega and Valve. Chop, chop. I'm really surprised the Poker Night formula hasn't continued on. Gotta be so much fun. Oh, well.
Maybe the licensing fees killed it.
I mean, yeah, I could see that, definitely. All right, here's a question from Nondal. Surge doesn't seem like the leader type, but can we expect her to occasionally round up miscreants to fight Sonic & Co. like Scourge did?
Maybe. I mean, she's not really a team player.
No.
And she has severe trust issues. So I don't see her immediately going out of her way to wrangle others to help out. That being said, if the opportunity arose so that she could join others to cause more chaos than normal, that I feel like would fit a little better.
I feel like she wouldn't want to let anyone else take down Sonic. Like, Sonic is hers to destroy. So, nah, not so much. We got a question here from OK Cheese Stick. I'm currently in the middle of reading the Archie Sonic X and Sonic Boom comics. If IDW was given the license for a Sonic Prime spin-off series, what would you want to do with it?
Maybe explore the shatter spaces that the show doesn't touch upon. Other concepts and gimmicks that they don't do.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have fun with the premise without stepping on the toes of the main show.
Right. I think that would make some sense. That would be fun. All right, here's a question from Oscar O. the Bearcat. How would Sonic react to a sloth that is faster? Faster than what? Faster than Sonic? Or faster than a normal sloth?
I think the implication is faster than Sonic.
Oh, okay.
And I think he'd go through the 5 stages of grief. First off, there's no way this guy's faster than me. How is this guy faster than me? okay, look, there has to be something going on. Maybe I'm having an off day. Maybe he's having a good day. Maybe we can figure something out here. I am no longer the fastest thing alive. This sloth is the fastest thing alive. But you know what? That's cool. I have a running buddy now. And Tails has a stopwatch, and he goes, wow, that is the fastest anyone has ever gone through that.
It's another one. Another running buddy. He has many of those, to be fair. Like Tangle, Tails, Knuckles, Amy. Is it just a regular sloth? Imagining just a regular sloth going fast. Oh, no. Oh, no. But also, yes. We got a question here from Pickly Pack. While I'm fairly certain the answer is no, I would love someone official to answer it. Is Knuckles biologically related to Tikal and Pachacamac? Like, would Pachacamac be Knuckles' great, and so on and so forth grandfather?
I don't have an official answer, but I don't think so. Because Tikal was too young to have kids and died before she could. So unless Pachacamac had a brother or a sister, or Tikal had some siblings or cousins that we don't know about.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening.
Well, I don't know. Maybe one day you'll be able to say for sure. All right, we got a question from Professor Scruffy Matt. So in Sonic Frontiers, why does Big have a bunch of Dr. Eggman's egg memos? Is there any truth to the rumor that after a messy breakup one night, Eggman got drunk and just left Big a bunch of voicemails bragging about how great his daughter is to prove that he doesn't need Big anymore and is just fine without him?
His cell phone rings and he picks up and he sees it's all from Eggman. Nope, not gonna pull the pin on that grenade. I mean, the nature of the fishing holes in the digital space are already one gigantic question mark, so they're clearly in cyberspace. It's more like Sonic is in the act of fishing, actually decrypting files and downloading them into his brain, maybe? I don't know.
It seems like he's kind of like pulling them out of cyberspace. Like he's literally physically pulling them out. So the fishing hole is literally just like a gateway to cyberspace. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, you do purchase him from Big, but he has so much stuff, I imagine he's just like, oh, a sparkly thing. But he doesn't even know what it is. He's just put it all in the treasure chest and Sonic can buy it.
That's why he got a tire. It's like, oh, here's a tire. Well, do you need a tire, Sonic? No. But it's funny. It's funny. I like the realistic fish.
I mean, he never specifies the quality of things that Sonic catches. He just says he'll compensate Sonic for catching things.
Yeah, pretty much. Whatever it is. All right, we got a question here from Ricky Gamer. Will IDW Sonic have more storylines considering mental health in the future?
I wouldn't say we have had any to this point. Not like a serious investigation. And I don't see it being a thing in the near future.
All right. Well, I was wondering, maybe they were thinking like in terms of maybe the ramifications of Metal Virus or Whisper or Surge and Kit, stuff they've gone through.
I mean,
but
like mental well-being has kind of been a reoccurring issue, but it hasn't been like the focus of a story. It hasn't been a very special issue where we actually sit down and discuss mental health in any serious or clinical fashion.
Yeah.
It's just more of an element of characters in their stories.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break for our mental health, and then we'll come back with more BumbleKast.
Our ad comes from our longtime patron, Daniel H. He says, "Good day to you all. I'd like to do some signal boosting for Miss Jordan. She's raising money for her transition, but also to move to a more friendlier city or state. Click the link to her GoFundMe page to learn more. If you can't donate at the time, share her page around if you please. Thank you for your time and be well. check the description of the video below for the full link to her GoFundMe.
We're back. We got a question from Sammy. I asked a question a while ago that was more of a fan idea, and you took that question and publicly executed it to make an example to those who may be so foolish to do the same. And yeah, you had a point. That was a dumb mistake on my part. Now I will show that I have learned from my mistakes, reflected upon my actions in the highest mountains, and achieved enlightenment. Cream and Omega team up. What happens? There you go.
See, now I feel bad now. I'm sorry, Sammy. I didn't mean to make an example of you.
Yeah.
I really don't. You're a good person and we like you.
Sammy is nice. I've talked to Sammy in Discord. So it's okay. It's not a problem. It's just, it's just a thing. Sometimes it happens. It's okay. So anyway, what happens with Cream and Omega teaming up?
Well, I guess the question is, why do they team up? What does Cream need Omega's help for? And
shooting things, obviously.
Clearly, yes.
Murder. I mean,
maybe Vanilla got kidnapped again.
And Sonic is busy.
That dastardly Eggman and his evil robots kidnapped Mom. Yeah. Please, Mr. Robot, will you help me destroy Eggman robots until we find my mom? To which Omega says, ha, 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 yes!
Yeah, pretty much.
And then it's just a series of lovely little outings where Cream says, let's try over there. Oh, look, Eggman robots. And Omega goes, ha, 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 yes! Oh, no, Mother isn't here. Let's try over there. Ha, 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 yes! Until finally they confront Eggman. He's like, what are you doing? I'm looking for my mother. She's at the store! Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, poor Cream. Why does he know that?
He stabs everyone. He's a creeper anyway.
Oh, right. He tracks everybody.
Was this just an excuse to unleash Eggman on all my forces? And Cream says, ha, 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 yes.
You mean Omega?
Oh, no. Cream.
No, an excuse to unleash Eggman on your forces.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah. I mean, I do want to see this. This is an annual story right here. Boy, that would be fun. That would be fun. I want to see it. I would like to see it. Here's a question from Saturn Flicky. Mechasonic Mark II was a formidable foe in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. 3 boss battles in Sonic's story, then the big bad in Knuckles' story. Scribnik Island added more depth to him. So how would you write SA1's Mechasonic Mark III without him seeming inferior or a retread of Mark II or Neo Metal Sonic?
That is an excellent question, because we've already seen a number of I am supposed to be the most destructive Sonic robot repeatedly, and oh no, Eggman does not value me as an individual, I will go rogue, or I will have daddy issues. We've seen that in multiple robots. So what do you do with a big boy like that? And I think I would honestly have to sit down and work on a pitch for that. Like, that's not just a fun what if on the BumbleKast. That's me thinking, okay, how do you actually do this? And if I want to sit down and hash that out, I might as well get paid for it, right? Well, I guess this is a priority Q&A. So, yet again, I've counter-argued myself within the same sentence. I need to quit doing that. Makes me look like an idiot. Not more like an idiot.
Whatever.
I don't know. Like Metal Sonic is as he is. For the moment, we're just going to assume that Mark 1 has been blown up, just to keep things simple. Mark 2, as you said, he's had his arc. So, I don't know. Maybe Mark 3 is just a refreshing, straight cut, I'm killer robot. No desire to be the one true Sonic. No desire to be anything more than the sum of his parts. Just a big honking tank Sonic.
Sure.
Terrifying, Terminator-esque ball of spines and doom.
Sure, why not? Why not? Might as well.
I don't know how exciting that would be in the long term, but it might be a nice change of pace for the short term, and we'll figure out the rest as we get to it.
Might as well. Here's a question from Scourge Time. I really like the new art from the Japanese Sonic channel with Takal and Chaos working at a pizza place, and Infinite and Shadow as pop stars. What kind of fun scenario would you put Scourge in, and with who?
He is a TV life coach.
Oh no.
And the first guest on his show is Zavok.
What? What?
So, Zavok, you're full of anger. Lots of righteous anger. And what do you do with that? Crush my enemies. Drive them before me. Hear the lamentations of their women. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And in another time, in another life, I would have been right there with you. But how can we make that more constructive? And there's like a countdown timer in each episode until when a chair gets thrown.
God, the last thing I wanted was for Scourge to be the host of a Dr. Phil show.
And see, the thing is, it could be the guest who throws a chair, or it could be that Scourge just runs out of patience with him and he starts throwing chairs.
I mean,
I'm trying to help you! Why would you let me help you?
Okay.
Stupid punch ass bitch! You think you're better than me? I'm trying to help you! Stop. He's already dead. Okay, I fixed this problem. Join us next time.
Did you just say punk ass bitch?
We're well into the BumbleKast. We're fine.
Now Fiona's cheering from the audience. She runs down and joins in. I mean,
oh, she's producer on the show.
I was gonna say
they're making bank. This is the best idea she's ever had.
Oh, nice, very nice. This is ridiculous. I love it. Oh man. All right, here's one from Scurvy Pirate Hog. Sega gives you an ultimatum. They will bring back the Freedom Fighters, but not just them. They will bring back the entire SatAM cast, and they have solved all legal disputes. So they will also bring back the BoomKast, FleetwayCast, and ArchieCast, and you'll get to decide how to implement everything. You have total freedom. However, in order to get this, you must knock out Kyle, tie him up, and sell him to the Walt Disney Company, where he'll have to be on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride for all eternity. Will you do it? Before you answer, just know Sega will throw in a Skies of Arcadia remaster, 5 sequels, and an ongoing comic that you get to be head writer of. You know, you don't have to punch me out. I'll just go. I'll tie
Kyle,
myself up.
The demon scurvy pirate hog has made his terms very clear. I have to follow this to the letter. So,
okay.
You want to pop an aspirin before we get this done, or
no? Just I guess if you have to, but I mean, you could just
whoop-ah!
Oh no! You could just not, and I'd tie myself up and just go to the Walt Disney headquarters and be like, "Yep, okay, what do I do now?"
I mean, you're pre-tied. We can start you off as that guy who gets kind of dunked in the well fairly early on. But let's give Kyle a little bit of leeway here, and he can do various parts in the ride throughout the day. You know, he can hang out with Jack Sparrow for a bit. He can, chase somebody up in the rafters for a few rounds. He can be the one on the crate or whatever, getting drunk and just sitting and chilling out. He can sit there at the very beginning and reading a book, and as the boat goes by, he just looks up and says, "Dead man tell no tales," and goes back to his book.
Mm-hmm.
Let me have some fun with it.
So who's gonna co-host the BumbleKast?
I don't know if I'll have time for that. I'm busy writing the entire New Skies of Arcadia franchise and making every iteration of Sonic make sense somehow. That's going to eat up a lot of time.
Well, I guess the show's over then. Sadly, I don't think this is going to actually happen, Ian. I think it's over.
I know.
I don't think it's real.
But, I mean, you're a trooper, Kyle, for being denied this and still being chipper about it.
It's okay. I'll be okay. Will you be okay? No, I don't think you will be, but here we are.
And now I'm just stuck with remembering, the one time I went on that ride, and how charmingly rustic all the animatronics were,
Yeah.
and then seeing the Jack Sparrow animatronic they added years later and how different he looked, how eerily lifelike. And it's like, did they update the rest of the ride? Do
No,
you go through all this goofy caricature and then there he is? It'd be weird.
it is weird. It is weird. Yeah, it's strange. I can say from experience. It's very weird. All right, let's keep on rolling. We got this question here from Sonic Man. There's a multiverse level theory that asserts that there are mathematical spaces / universes and or universes that are mathematics, and places like that exist in Sonic's multiverse, like the cyberspace in Sonic Frontiers. So can that multiverse level be used to describe Sonic's?
Maybe. I'm not really familiar with that concept.
I'm gonna say no, just because I have no official say on anything, but I'm still gonna say no.
Well, that is your right.
Okay, good. Thank you. There's one from Sonic Padge, which is apparently pronounced like badge with a P. In early Archie Sonic, Robotnik says something along the lines of being an iron-fisted despot is great and all, but what I really want to do is direct. In the Dash and Spin manga, Eggman implements an absurd scheme with him being a film director. Studiopolis Zone clearly seems to be Eggman's media-making hub, and at the end of Generations, modern Eggman tells Classic he's always wanted a job telling people what to do. Boom Eggman even had a dedicated episode about directing a film. It seems across time, space, and dimension, Dr. Robotnik has an interest in being a filmmaker. So what kind of film do you think he would make? Don't take the easy road out by simply saying military propaganda film or his own live-action embellished adaptations of Tokyo Ghoul or Chainsaw Man. Would Sonic and his pals think his films have too much yoke messaging? Oh...
I see what you did there.
Oh, man, that one hurt. Oh.
I'm going to be pedantic, though, and say it's actually YOLK. That's an egg yolk. YOKE, and you put on an oxen or other beast of burden.
Uh-huh. I mean, still, it still hurt. It still hurt.
Oh, yes.
It doesn't matter.
I love it.
No. Why do you love this? This is like, I mean,
because it's so bad, it's good.
I enjoy it. I enjoy puns, but man, this one's like, whoa, this one hurt. This one was literally painful. Like, I think I just shaved years off my life reading it.
We haven't had a new egg pun in years. Here it is. It's topical. It works. It's not forced. I love it.
I mean, it's not forced.
And
anyway.
As for what he would make, well, he is 100% ego driven.
Oh yeah.
So all these films would be grandizing him. He is the hero. He is the genius. It isn't even military propaganda. It's whatever 10-second idea happened to flit across his head, and he funds it, and he films it, and he stars in it, and he produces it, and he directs it, and he thinks it's great, and it's drivel.
Mm-hmm.
And attendance, aside from what is mandatory, is abysmal. So then he decides to reinvent himself and start doing these extremely out there avant-garde films. A single light bulb Batnik swings in an empty room. A time-lapse photo of an egg going bad, but then somehow turning into a custard. Eggman sitting there pensively staring at his own reflection. And then it's just the end. And you're sitting there and go, what the hell was that about?
I could just see the Sonic cast, the rest of the crew just sitting there watching it, going full on MST3K on them.
Like Sonic looks around, and is like, "Is this a joke? Was that it?" Tails is like, "He didn't even shoot it in the same frame rate per scene. This is terrible." And he's like, "I don't want to criticize art because all expression is valid, but I'm not liking this.
I'm not sure what they were expressing."
Like, that was beautiful.
Who was crying?
Knuckles.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's complex in its simplicity, but simple in its complexity.
Okay, so this is Boom Knuckles. Got it.
Eggman's hanging out in the back of the theater. I call it Eggvant-Garde.
Eggvant-Garde. Okay, that's a good one. You see, none of this yolk messaging. Eggvant-Garde. There we go. That's much better. Thank you.
I like yoke messaging.
I mean, it's I. The thing is, I like it too. That's the problem. uh, oh man! All right. We really need to get through this. So let's keep on going. There's one from Sonic. Can you please stop answering questions with "Don't worry, I'll be happy"? I get you're trying to help people not stress over Sonic lore so much, but let's be honest. We fans who worry about the Sonic lore enough to ask about it here aren't suddenly going to stop having questions/concerns just because you tell them not to worry and be happy. If anything, not getting proper answers to questions will just get some of us to worry about it more or get annoyed at not getting a real answer. I would know. I get annoyed every time I hear you answer with, "Don't worry, be happy," to anyone's questions. Well, that was like 1 episode, 2 episodes a while ago, so...
Yeah, but, it's a fair thing, and I do apologize if I came across as dismissive or condescending. That was not my intention.
Mm-hmm.
It's just some of these questions don't have a good answer. There's errors or inconsistencies or an actual lack of answer, and there is no proper reconciling it within canon. And speaking as someone who has lost sleep over this sort of thing, you got to step back and say, it ain't worth getting this worked up over. Be dissatisfied, sure. Want a tighter, better constructed narrative? Absolutely. There's room for critique, but getting worked up over it and, worrying about it isn't worth your time or the stress it causes you. So, playfully, I say, don't worry, be happy. Everything is canon. It is what it is. So that's what I'm trying to convey. And again, I do apologize if it felt like I was just being hand wavy for the sake of being hand wavy. I didn't mean to be dismissive.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, here's a question from the ID card. I love seeing Sonic the Hedgehog embrace his shonen side in the games recently, and I was wondering if you wrote any storylines that were incorporated from stories in other shonen series, like Naruto, One Piece, My Hero Academia, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, etc. If not, is there a story arc you'd like to explore from a shonen series you're interested in?
I have not ever intentionally taken other storylines and tried to do a direct one-to-one or to incorporate their ideas into Sonic. It's more, I aim for more general like tropes and concepts, something that's can stand on its own. This is not a shonen idea, but like, your classic zombie apocalypse scenario, but applied to Sonic. That's, Metal Virus. That wasn't meant to be The Walking Dead or any number of the B-movie horror films out there. It was just kind of the general idea of what if, and we did in this fashion. I say not intentionally because people pointed out some pretty strong parallels between Starline, Surge, and Kit to Giro and Android 17 and 18. And it's like, no, that's not. You are absolutely right.
Well, it wouldn't be Sonic the Hedgehog if it didn't rip off Dragon Ball Z. So there, you're just keeping within theme of the franchise. So it's fine.
It's thematic, sure. Yeah, no. It's tradition at this point.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
when you break it down, there are mostly just superficial correlations, but
yeah,
it was still close enough. I'm like, maybe I should have stepped back and looked at that a little harder. So it's something to be mindful of, but like there isn't anything like in My Hero Academia specifically that I would want to bring over into Sonic. It tells its own stories, and maybe there is some higher level concepts to be had there, but stuff like, Plus Ultra or even Gurren Lagann's, each rotation brings us one step forward is all kind of intrinsic to Sonic's, his will can overcome anything. Those are broad themes that you see a lot in shonen manga, but it's not concentrated on my part to take anything and transplant it.
All right, here's a question from the Might of Gabura. Yin and Yang was mentioned in the Japanese manual of Sonic Riders, which is the duality and plurality. So do the concepts of those exist in Sonic? No.
Sure they do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Boy, I will sock you and leave you next to Jack Sparrow.
Okay.
Savvy.
All right. Maybe Jack will share the rum. Not that I've ever had rum, but hey, you know what? First time for everything.
Maybe we should have had that question first, so we could have moved on to the big philosophical one. I could have started that off with saying, "Do you feel death?" The whole big cyclical thing, referential. Oh well.
Well, you know, the drawbacks of just sorting the show in alphabetical order. Almost. Almost. We got a question from Thickolf. Speaking of Disney executives uncover the Gummy Bear show and realize that it was quite popular. They want to capitalize on this, and they hire you to spearhead a new series. But there's a twist. They don't want a remake or a new interpretation of the old material. They want a brand new show based on an entirely different snack. So which sweet or savory delight do you pick? What's their story? What's their lore?
Gummy worms. Squirmy, jiggly little what rhymes with worms. It's just copy pasting of gummy bears. They are the gummy worms. I don't know. Goldfish has already built a small animatic universe for their snack that smiles back.
Flavor blasted.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like at one point Nerds Candy got this treatment.
I think it did. I think it did. Yeah.
Like there was a one-off Saturday morning cartoon or something?
Something like that. Yeah, let me see. I'm curious because I don't remember exactly, but yeah, they had like weird little googly eyes, and yeah, they have like I know they have the ads, cartoon ads, but I don't know if they had a full-on show. I think it might have just been...
but I feel like there was like a really awful tie-in cartoon because that's what everybody was doing at the time.
Okay, well, there's one on YouTube. I don't know if that's a thing I don't know if that's what it's referring to or if it's a new thing or what. Nerds are the pre-evolved form of Nermies, yes. It would explain a lot. I don't know. Is that what you would want to do? You want to take nerds and turn them into a whole thing?
I don't know, but you know,
no.
What else do you do?
I mean, I like gummy worms.
But then again, I mean, you look at Gummy Bears, the candy.
Yeah.
And you look at Gummy Bears, the show, and the only correlation...
They have nothing to do with each other.
They're brightly colored, and they sound similar. So, like, sure, you could say nerds and then just do something wholly different.
Yeah.
Here are these tiny fingernail-sized tooth-breaking niblets, and then they're like full-bodied space warriors on this epic quest to get back to their home world that was blown up by the Draxons. Can they reach their former home world? Which portal will lead home and which one will lead to disaster?
This sounds like Saturday morning cartoon.
Wednesdays and Saturdays at 4 p.m. Central Time.
All right.
And nerds is just like some extremely forced acronym.
Of course, you got to have the period in between each letter. Oh, I'm into it. Or maybe it's Nerbs from Archie. Good old Nerbs.
Or maybe it's a nature documentary about animal crackers.
There you go. Delicious. All right. Here's a question from True Cosmic Digilab 79. Hey guys, what if you make a Digimon or Appmon comic? What kinds of chaos would you make for the heroes?
I don't know. I would have to do my research first.
Yeah. This is more a question for Twilord.
Like, are we talking a specific season of Digimon? Is this a brand new standalone Digimon thing? Which game are we working off of? What rule set? I don't know. I would have to digivolve myself into someone who actually knows what they're talking about there.
I know nothing about the characters of Digimon or anything. Is there like an Ash equivalent? I'm sure there is, but I don't know who they are. I'm sorry, Digimon fans. We're woefully inequipped to handle this question. All right. We got one last question, though, and it's from Noni. What if instead of the Shatterverse, it was the Shatnerverse? Now, to be fair,
Sonic, don't touch the paradox prism. It could shatter and shatter reality while we're at it.
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Noni stole this question from me, so they're a little thief. But yes, I did. I posed this question in the Discord server, and it was I don't know. I just had this like weird thought every time I hear Shatterverse. I think Shatnerverse, and I'm like, okay, what is this? Sonic fighting the Gorn?
Sonic fighting Shadow, but with the Gorn fight music.
Okay.
So you got Sonic and Nine circling each other in the fighting pit. Nine's like, they'll kill both of us if we do not compete. Logically, one of us has to die. I'm sorry, old friend.
5 of 9, 7 of 9. Why is there a little blue hedgehog stuck on the front of the ship? Oh, and amazing. Beautiful.
I think that's enough
all right.
nonsense and completely serious sense for one episode. But before we go, we need to give a big thank you to all the folks who make the show possible through their generous donations over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. Big thank you to Daniel H., Jennifer R., James K., John B., Robotnik Home, Sam Cybercat, Samuel P., Torchbound, Mike B., Andrew D., Dave M., Saluchacat, J. Frost, Coupland Crew 128, Noni, Hero of Light 13, Professor Scruffy Matt, Chris A., Sony, Triforce Riku, John M., Sonic, Scurvy Pirate Hog, Jib, Ben Wolfsbane, Lisa M., Lee H.K., Arcfighter, Chevelle, Keeper of Monsters, Axis, Twilord, Xander Ernie the Painter, Z Broadcast, Chaos Sonic 1, Starlight Sec, Tick Tick, Jonathan D., The Discayan, Ink Thinks, The Name is X, Cameron H., Solaire Stain, Nimric, Godzilla, Nondel, Jolene B., Yuma221, Ava Arctic, Dove, Justin Mountain Soul, Justin S., Nova Poly Duo, Daddler the Dalek, Alex GS, Sonic Legacy, Jennifer H., Pedanti Cat, Les, Red the Supernamic, Alphamon or Yukon, Joshua S., Omega Watt, Jack the Animator, Mancher, Jay the Redneck, Of the Stars and Tails, Derucival, yes, Jinzel, Preston M., Wildcard 717, Indabin, Sammy S., Noah M., Kojiro Highland, Awesome Cakester, Supersonic Fan, Miles the Prower, Navarre, Excel, Agent Kaz, Radry, Sonic 84, Puppy the Scholar, Chase L, 4 Sonic Fan, Tetsuya the Wise, Rhythm Raccoon, Wheelie Doe, The Marble Gardener, Aiden S, Oz Jam, Shimmy M, Curly Quills, Angela V, Smiley 21, In Zephyr, Sterling Sonic, Philip is Cold, Conga, Windskull, Supernova, Superior Pizza, Sonic Padge, Subliminal, Miggy Sawdust, Thickoff, Crooker, Vlad, E200 Paragon, Razor, The Crucified Devil, Loop De Loop, Omega Man 21, Thievius, Dominic the Raccoon, Planet Breezy, Unity, Kedrian, Lori L, Jason S, Cody G, Michael P, Nils, Illegal Chow Fights, Sir Needlemouse, SB, My Fish Eats Rocks, The ID Card, Phil C, Jonathan F, Hip Kid Brick, Levi C, Amazon, Samuth Star, Dead Air, OK Cheesestick, Adrian W, Zaylock, Nebula Noob, Lacey M, Lucky Lychee, Spiral, Knuckle Samish 87, Tetsu Knife, Raccoon Shinobi, Normal Person, Marcy H, Caswell, Mr. Murder Bird, The Giant Murdering Bird, M Bluette, Native Nerd 27, Miles Full Prower, Ultra Guy, Crowbo, Salato 02, Noob 600, Sonic Mania 2099, Hedronus, Paley, Tenderheart Fawn, Quizel J, Guts, Johanna S, Snow Pear, The Man of Multimedia, Fluffy 93, Ms. Nippy, Jamal S, Wheels 282 Hedgehog, Metamode, Frost the Hobbadon, Danny the Light, Butter Noodles, Miles Prower D, El Technopada, Razor, Sun Blister 16, Travis H, Tyler Renee M, Liam B, Saturn Flicky, Scourge Time, and Sonic Man.
Thank you, everybody, as always, for your amazing, incredible level of support. I mean, we literally wouldn't be here without you, so thank you.
Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Now get the heck out of here. So,
just give me the go sign.
Okay, the go sign is activated and you are clear for takeoff.
Roger, Wilco.
Do you use beard product?
I'd use beard oil, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't have a beard, so I have no idea what you'd use in a beard. I use a razor.
Unfortunately, I tend to wash and apply that and then put on my mask when I'm going out, so I've got like this perpetual ripple under my chin, which looks stupid as hell, and I can't coax it the other direction.
When King Max was rescued from the Zone of Silence and started You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
How much did it get? Old-timey radio commercial? That's an ad spot.
Pretty much, yeah.
You just specify that you want it as an old-time BumbleKastified. Are you tired of your everyday sarsaparilla? Buy yourself a bumble keg and get yourself stonking drunk.
Bumble brand snake oil.
It will cure what ails you, and you can't prove otherwise.
Okay.